they only attacked one. I hired one white woman, a good personal friend and great lawyer, a superstar, I tell you. I hired one white man, brilliant, my friend, and a great lawyer. And I hired one black man, another superstar, a great friend, and a great lawyer. Oh Lord, they gonna be mad when I call them out on this nonsense. First thing they say, oh, she gonna play the race card now. But no, God, isn't it them who's playing the race card when they only question one? Isn't it them playing the race card when they constantly think, I need someone from some other jurisdiction in some other state to tell me how to do a job I've been doing almost 30 years.
So just a reminder where we're at in Georgia with one of the Democrats' election interference scams, probably their most likely to explode in their faces scam yet. The head prosecutor and the district attorney are both African American, and no one really cares, right? But what that means is anyone who dares question their ethics or their evidence or their tactics or even anything to do with their case is by default, a democracy endangering racist. And that's all you are. You're just a racist. And we're still not entirely sure how much this exercise really has cost the taxpayers of Georgia, but we do know that she, Fani Willis, the district attorney, has funneled nearly $700,000 to her alleged injury attorney lover. And it sounds like she's got some pretty huge plans yet to come.
Lots of public comment today about our district attorney. I know she's asking for roughly $4 to $5 million added to her budget.
So $4 to $5 million additional on top. I mean, how many boyfriends does this lady really have, man? And what in the world is she doing with all of this money? You know, what is she doing with this case? You know, everything we've learned so far, and scary thing for Fani is that we have not learned everything so far, but everything we have learned so far, and, you know, the conflict of interest is one thing, the potential, you know, defrauding of her taxpayers is another thing, but the real glaring issue here, for me at least, is that this really is starting to feel like a malicious and political prosecution. I mean, we're learning more and more every day about the communications between the district attorney's office that is prosecuting Donald Trump and the presidential administration of his rival. I mean, the fact that we can even say that is alarming. That should make even the most Trump deranged defenders of democracy lose their mind. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that cannot happen. These communications should not exist.
All right, Mr. Burnick. So let's start there.
Again, we're traveling under Brady, and he's asking for evidence, and our communications with the White House counsel's office was about logistics and procedures, whether they had a TUI type process in place. It wasn't about obtaining any type of evidence from them.
But this seems a bit different. We're not talking so much about the logistics of witnesses as to whether there is potentially any coordination or a political motivation that might.
Well, that's speculation.
And it would be speculation right now because I think he concedes he doesn't have access to your emails, and it would be unlikely unless he was sitting in the room or bugged it that he'd have any idea what was in there. But apparently he's got some documentation that a meeting did occur.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, the lawyer says, yeah. I mean, he assumes a meeting occurred, and he's right. But we're just asking the court to ensure that 3, 2, 1. Yeah, so the lawyer says, yes, Your Honor, a meeting occurred. And he's right to assume that a meeting occurred. But, you know, we're just asking the court to ensure that he has to just take the state's word for it. You know, I promise, Scout's honor, you know, we only talked about Bill and Hillary's grandkids.
Yeah, he assumed that a meeting occurred, and then the lawyer goes, yeah, meaning, yes, it is wise to assume a meeting occurred.
The original question was, is there something actually in writing that shows communications between the office and the White House counsel?
We did get a letter from the White House counsel's office.
All right,
It
so
was about logistics and procedures, as stated before.
all right, so it's just that you're saying the sole written communication, whether by text, whether by email, whether by written correspondence, solely consists of one written letter.
Written letter, well, there's 2 written letters, Your Honor, about procedures, about how we interviewed, whether it was a TUI type process with former or current White House officials.
Okay.
This judge is good. Very, very smart questions. Okay, so there's a letter he's asking. Are you saying that that's the only contact? Almost daring this attorney to perjure himself. And the attorney's like, well, no, not really. I mean, there may have been 2, I guess, but all legal. Just Hillary's grandkids stuff. And the judge is basically like, you heard him there. Okay. The judge sees, what is going on here, what is potentially going on here. Remember, in the beginning of all this, any questions that were asked, any questions at all, and the media and Democrat operatives, they framed it like we're all just a bunch of dangerous right-wing conspiracy theorists or all just a bunch of racists. I mean, if you dared question the state's case or even worse, their motivations against a political candidate, it was only because you hate democracy and you're a racist. And the entire thing, honestly, it worked so well. It scared the hell out of Governor Kemp so bad that he sidelined himself almost immediately. And now, the more we dig, the more we uncover, the more you see, the more you hear, it sounds like even the county supervisors had been asking questions all along about how one particular attorney had just become the highest paid prosecutor in the entire state, probably the United States. And guess what the results of her questions were?
But as I've skimmed through it, the allegations are frightening.
Everybody buckle up. Here we go.
Potential of misallocation of county funds that were given to her in 2021, 2022, and this last year. I believe we need some transparency as a commissioner. I asked for transparency. I asked her how much this election interference case was costing the county. The answer I got was that Lady Justice has no price. And I wasn't given any amounts because he's Black. Thirdly, when I asked her about the Nathan R. Wade expenditures in particular, I didn't get an answer. I was told that I'm just picking on him because he's Black.
Yeah, so you see that. This is where we're at, man. Lady Justice has no price. Election interference and destroying Donald Trump at whatever cost necessary, it has no price. But it apparently, it has a lot of perks and it has a lot of special privileges, especially when you get to go on romantic vacations with the still married lead prosecutor on the most famous RICO case in the world. And if you question that at all, or any of that, if you as a county commissioner ever wonder out loud why a reformed injury attorney is now the highest paid zero experience prosecutor in probably the entire United States, if not the world, then you just zip it, Whitey. You only care because he's Black. And you'll notice with this lady, it worked. I mean, this commissioner never got her answers, never took it any further because the race card will win every single hand that it's played in. And if it wasn't for other people, and most importantly, Fulton County citizens finally asking questions, we would have never ever heard this racist white lady's story. But anyway, I thought you'd appreciate seeing that. That's just my take, guys. Let me know yours in the comments. And if you haven't already, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. I'll see you in the next one.